The stream cut out for some reason. I've had a couple of problems before. Hopefully it doesn't do it again, and that should be alright. If you hear any background noise, I'm actually currently looking after two dogs. Well, my whole family is. Except they're out currently, my family. The dogs are here. Very nice. Very exciteful. Don't get along too well, but they are starting to get along a bit better. Anyway, the thing I do want to say is I have just taken pictures, but in doing so I've realised also the tripod here, I've also had some problems with that, so you will see this the whole way through. Basically the thing that makes it go up and down like that is broken. There's like a ring that stops it from coming off completely, and the ring has come off, which is weird. But yeah, aside from that, when I was taking photos, I realised something, and the thing I realised was that when I originally drew all of this, so some of this actually I draw off camera as well, just because of timing and events that have been going on in my life, I realised that I remember saying to myself that this foundation on this baseline is meant to be how I remembered them. But when it comes to colouring, I think I wanted to paint them how they are in the actual show or in the actual movie. Now, with my original characters up here, obviously I'll do them in a new style, which I think fits the rest of the board. But hopefully it all goes okay. But yeah, I think that was the original idea, to have them, the baselines be my memories, but over the top of that, actually make it look like the shows, because it's a Mandela effect. Things look different to how you previously thought they looked, because when you actually look at the images, they look hella different. So I'm planning to maybe put you, because I can't really adjust this, what I'm going to try and do is put you guys up. If I can angle that, so these come out, so if I can just like, if that goes there, if I bring that one all the way out and up, and then bring that in, because the problem is I've also dropped my phone recently already once and it's smashed the front camera, which is why the quality isn't as good currently. And I can't really see on the camera from where it is right now, which makes everything a whole lot harder. Yeah, that's a horrible view, it's not actually getting anything. What I might do then is go ahead, take this up, and actually maybe just put you guys at the side here, or just sort of staring over wherever I am actually painting. Now I do need to put this side up a bit just to balance it. A, because this bit of cardboard is slightly bent, and B, because of the weight of the phone on this side, obviously coming downwards is bringing the tripod over. So this one needs to go up to sort of counter them up. So we're gonna go ahead and put that there for now. And you may see sort of empty sort of square down the bottom here. I want to add something very special there, which is one of my first ever characters that I did. But yeah. So what I'm going to do first is go with the sort of basic colours. I have actually got, where's the plate I had? I had a plate out to mix colours. Just be back in a sec. Oh. Nice little plate here, we don't really use it, but nice little plate here that I can use to mix colours. So for skin tones and things like that, it's perfect. I am actually going to check this jumper off though, because I don't want it to get acrylic paint on it, which if you don't know, stains forever. That's better. It's much better. I'm just going to tie my hair back as well quick. There we go. It's tied back. Right. We're going to start off with probably one of the first shows I've watched up here on Cartoon Network is Lego Ninjago. So this was kind of, well, it was a Lego animation. Well, it wasn't Lego, but it was like a 3D animation, like digital animation of Lego. It kind of follows the story of a couple ninja, specifically the Red, and I'm trying to do just the original ones. So the Red for fire, black for earth, blue for lightning, and white for ice. Now, in this sort of universe, they're meant to be the elemental colours. There is a green ninja as well, but I won't be adding him because he comes actually later. Although he is there, if you can spot him, in his very original form. We also have Master Wu, which is kind of like the sensei of these. We've also got Lord Garmadon there, who is Wu's brother, but also the villain, and the father of Lloyd. Yeah, I remember a lot. I did actually go see the Lego Ninjago movie at a cinema with a friend. Stop motion animation has come very far since what it used to be. So I think we're going to go ahead and do the hot-headed Kai first. I actually will need yellow for all of these, so I'll probably I'll do the skin first for everything. So Lego people, in skin terms, it is yellow, because although in other shows which contain Lego, they may have skin-coloured ones. Obviously you can get skin-coloured Legos. These ones are yellow, and I think it was to kind of show that they're not particularly of any specific background. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, we're going to stick some yellow on there. And what I've actually found with painting is, although it's a tiny little smidge, you don't really need that much at all, because obviously it does spread. And sometimes you'll end up using too much and you won't have any for another time. So I'm only using tiny weeny little smidges. I've actually got my brushes here in a bag. I've used them for ages, and I've got my water up there, as I already mentioned. Now I'm going to try and be very, very precise with the lines, as much as I can anyway. And all we're going to do is first come in and try and get these guys coloured. So if I can just position it. Now Garmadon is actually completely black instead. Right, let's try this then. So I will have to do a couple coats with all of this, which is why I'm doing all the skin tones for all the characters first. Because yeah, as you can see, the yellow is quite see-through currently because it's a lighter colour. Now, there is a chance I don't get this all finished today, but I really do hope that I do. If I don't, you'll probably see it on my Instagram, which is C and C58. So if you search me up there, it's on a couple of my other videos, so you should be able to find it quite easily. And actually, speaking of other videos, feel free to check out the rest of the channel. It's pretty cool. I do a lot of different stuff. Also, if you hear me go silent every now and then, it's either me thinking of what to say next or not really thinking at all. or trying to concentrate on something. Because with this, it's really, really easy to speak your mind as you're doing it, rather than in recording. A lot of the time, what I used to do, obviously, which I don't do now, because I can speak through the camera, even when I'm recording videos, is I used to try and make a voice recording over the top of the whole thing, keeping up with the video, which is incredibly hard. But again, with the videos that I do now, and obviously streaming, you can actually just talk your mind in the moment, which is a lot easier, because there's a lot more you can say as well. Oh, and actually, I made a birthday video for Shadow Dragon. It's kind of like a little compilation, birthday song, sort of special thing that I made. Fun little GIF. I don't know if he's seen it yet, but hopefully he does eventually. I hope he likes it as well. He's been a bit absent recently with YouTube, like me. I guess because we've both got exams coming up. Well, we've had a couple exams already each, but there's a couple others coming up, I guess. So as you can see, Lloyd's face is... Oh, I've just said who Lloyd is. Lloyd is looking rather good so far. Oh, it's really doing my back in. I might just grab a chair. Just try not to get paint anywhere else, other than on here. Just gonna move the table. I think this is Jay down here. Yeah, it is. This is very nostalgic. Also, feel free to type anything in the chat, anyone that's watching. Just a simple hi or hello or any feedback. Like I said before, I love it and it's amazing. Where are you going? He's talking to the dog. Just rushed outside for something. Oh, well, someone's back. It's either our neighbours or my parents, which means that there is a chance that if it is my parents, they will ask me to move outside, because they don't like me painting inside, which is an awful thing to say really, as I am an artist. Because although it is rather nice outside currently, I would prefer to be inside with the dogs, so I can keep an eye on them, make sure they're not getting up to a naughty business. So obviously this isn't going to be perfect, and my original intentions were to colour this with Posca, but I didn't get around in time to ordering them, so I've actually just decided to come do it with the paint. But it does seem to be working rather well. And although in areas it's darker and then areas it's lighter, because of the layering, it does actually create a rather nice effect. I have used Poscas before, not my own ones. I've used ones at school for my examination. I mean, they're okay. The ones I used are a bit leaky, but yeah, they're pretty cool. I will get some eventually, because I definitely want to use them in June, which is next month. And there is like a running thing. I usually have themes for my months, so I know what to draw and how to draw it. So this month, May, was Mystical May, which is kind of like dragons, fantasy, folklore, all of that. But June, I couldn't really find like a play on words for that one. So I've actually left that as a free month, and obviously Pride is in June, so I'm going to do some Pride art. There's some other things in June as well that I might do some art for. I might go to Pride this year. I've never been before. Well, mainly because I haven't been able to. Last year we had our exams, and I'm hoping that this year my exam is not on the day that Pride is, because I really do want to go. You two growling at each other. Sorry, again talking to the dogs. Haven't been getting on the best. One of them did bite the other day, because one of them has bought a squeaky toy, but the one we had, so there's one we've had a couple times before, and then there's one that we've never had before. The one we've had a couple times before likes to steal the other dog's toys, and she came straight in and took the toy off the dogs we've never had before, apparently. So, yeah, been getting on the best. She's also been eating his food, which is not great either. Anyway, aside from all of that, these faces are coming along pretty well. As you can see, although Lloyd's face sort of darkens on this side, it has created a nice shade effect, and I'm hoping the same goes for Jay. Let's go ahead and do Zane next. Zane is actually not different, but he's rather special, because he is an android, not a human. An android is kind of like a mix between a human and, well, not really. An android is a fully robotic sort of being that somewhat looks or behaves like a being. Like a human, sorry. There's a term that Zane uses in the show. I can't remember what it is. I think it's like ninjoid or ninzoid. Yeah. And he is the master of ice. He's the white ninja. Lloyd is the green one, and Jay is the blue one, of lightning. So Lloyd's power is actually rather different to all of these, because it is a sort of energy, rather than being one specific sort of element. It's kind of a combination of all of these ones, including water, which we see much, much later in the show with Kai's sister Nia. But I haven't added her because she's not in the original, like the proper original bit. So this is from the first series, essentially. It's going rather well though. As you can see, Jay's face is starting to fade in. So although some of the bits of the yellow are slightly more layered, it all eventually does fade into the same colour, which works really nicely, as you can see with Jay's face. I have got to be careful here, because Maple's pig is right next to Zane's face. We'll get onto her in a minute. Probably do Gravity Falls next. Maybe. Get a bit more water on that brush. Really, really spread it out. Yeah, so I'll do their faces first, probably their hair next, and then I'll move on to some other characters. So that's 3 faces done. And then actually shadows and highlights for everything I'll do all on one layer. So I'm kind of doing this like I do Photoshop. So the first layer is sort of very, very basic stuff. Second layer is more detailed things. So it'll be sort of line work and things like that. And again, more detailed stuff. Then it will be shadows, and then over the top of that we'll do highlights. So I build my art up in layers so that it's easier to do. It's kind of the steps I use for everything really in art. Now, if I just move you guys over this way, because I do need to go ahead and paint Kai's face. I can actually come around the side of here as well. So if I maybe put you over here, try not to get paint on the tripod. I can actually then go and do Kai's face around this side. Kai is the master of fire, as mentioned before. Very hot-headed. Has a bit of an attitude, but is a good character. It's the first person we actually get to see in the series, I think, as well. Or one of the first, anyway. Even though he's the last ninja out of the original 4 to join the group. I'm trying to be really, really sharp with my edges. Also smooth on these more corner bits here. Which is why I'm using very swift, also sometimes very slow movements. Trying not to create too many sharp edges. Because the hair needs to come in eventually. I really hope my folks don't come home too soon, because I would like to get this finished before they get back. This is Cole over here. I'll probably come round and play with me. Another quick tip, don't spread this all around the plate or your mixing device, because you won't have any room for any other paints, which is something I've done in the past as well, and it is really annoying to try and mix others because they do just mix into the colours you've made already. Let's try and not mix into Ben 10 down there. Now Cole's face does somewhat extend beyond the page. Cole is a black ninja and he is the earth ninja. It's very brute strength of the group. His hair is also very interesting compared to some of the others. Especially to draw. Just need to fill in the rest of his face. Hello, Bobby. That's one of the dogs we're looking after. You may see me just pop away every now and then. Might be me going to check on the dogs. But don't worry, I will be back. I can actually rest my hand on this now because it's completely dry. You can now see where some of the other characters are starting to overlap into the piece too. Which gives this really cool perspective, but also shape to a lot of the areas of the image. So I'm going to try to blend this in downwards. Okay, it should be fine. It's nearly all the face is done, and that's all out of this little dot as well. Again, you don't need to use so much paint. Now, Garbodon, as I said before, slightly different. So I will be doing something about that. For now, it just needs to work on Woo, who is the master. Woo is the ninja of creation, that's his elements. And Garbodon, his brother, has obviously the element of destruction. And again, he is the master to these 5 ninja. Well, 4 at the start anyway. Before Lloyd gets told that he's the Green Ninja. As I said, there were just these 4. He actually has a long white beard that takes up most of his face, which is why you don't see his mouth. There we go, that is the faces of most of them. Obviously I haven't done Garmadon yet, because his full body is black. So I will just check and see if there's any other characters that are specifically yellow or golden. Just so I can fill them in. No. Okay, again, we're just going to do very basic shapes. I'm going to go wash this off, and I'll be back in a sec. It's actually rather easy to wash off when you have a bit of soap as well. You don't need loads. It does help to get acrylic paints off of brushes and sort of ceramic surfaces. Just gonna nip away to check on the dogs quick. Yes, I'm back. They're all good. Everything's all fine. Right, yes. So moving on to other characters. A lot of them have skin tone, which is why I also specifically did them first. Because, pretty much all of these other characters have skin tones. Except for the odd few. And I will try my very best to get them right. So we're going to actually go ahead and start mixing. We'll try and go the same one for all of them. All of the ones that are sort of in the same universe. So we can have a tiny bit of yellow. Literally a tiny bit. They're then going to add a wincy bit of white. Yeah, and also the only way the stream will possibly end is if my phone runs out. So just factor that in as a possibility. And again, if you want to see this finished, if I don't get it finished within the time I'm doing this, you can of course see me on, or see the piece on Instagram. I might even make a quick short on YouTube once this thing is finished as well. Doesn't want to go on the, there we go. I need to get some more white. It's white. What I have found out is that adding brown actually helps a bit. Just a tiny smidgen of white, brown, sorry. The tiniest bit you can have. Oh, don't drop that. Some of the lids don't go on quite as well as the others do. Brown is an example of that. And there's brown on my t-shirt. Great. Absolutely friggin' great. Oh, for God's sake, that's not coming out. Well. Brown, white, yellow, and then there was one more. Oh yeah, so it may seem unconventional, but what I've actually recently found is that adding a tiny bit of green to skin tones does actually work really well, which is exactly what we're going to do here. So, I think first we'll take our white and mix it with our yellow. Get that nice sort of pale yellow colour. There we go. And because it's now on a watery plate, it instantly makes everything a bit thinner. If we take our brown, we can then mix that in. It's very sort of maroon brown, and as you can see, that's already made it a couple of times better. Now with mixing, you probably do want to spread it out a bit more. Now that looks like the colour of Grunkle Stan's nose. If we mix this all in a bit more, can actually just come over here and do his nose now. And actually that is a pretty decent skin tone, in all fairness. If I had the tiniest bit of green just for this area over here. Mix it on the thing. And then mix back in some of the original colour. Get some rather nice skin. Right, now I'm going to leave that to dry. Probably go over it later, but that was kind of just an example of what's going to be going on here. So I will actually use the original skin tone without mixes of green for this one. Just for all of the characters quick, so that's actually only for, this skin tone's only really going to be for Maple and Dipper, and then I might add a bit more white or yellow for the avatar characters. What's this? Is it Mabel or Maple? Can't remember. But yeah, pretty good skin tone, all in all. Yellow, white, and a tiny weeny bit of brown. That's all I use to make that. I'll just go ahead and do his face as well. So this is Zeus. This is kind of like the assistant in the shop at Gravity Falls. I couldn't really remember him as strongly as Maple and Dipper, because obviously they're the sort of main characters in the plots. Gravity Falls was a great show though, you should definitely go watch it. The ending was okay. Yeah, but I probably will definitely go watch it again after I do this. It was an amazing series, and it definitely took quite a unique role on the villain side of things, because although he sort of was a villain, he also wasn't, and we will get onto Bill Cipher later. Right, now let's do Dipper's face. Dipper is definitely the more curious one, and Mabel is like the more cute one. But they are both very adventurous kids, especially in the show. That's how I remember them anyway. So I'm just quickly painting over some of the bits I did originally, because you can see where the mouths kind of overlap from the one that I drew. And this one, Grunkle Stan doesn't actually have any, actually except his ears, none of the rest of him actually shows proper skin, which is rather unfortunate. However, this does actually look like it is going to be a rather good skin palette for the Avatar kits. So I think actually we'll use the same one for them. Team Avatar. Actually, moving on to Avatar now, it had its similarities to Lego Ninjago. Well, apart from the fact that it's not Lego, but the series kind of do overlap because they take place in a universe, or universes, where it's very sort of Asian, sort of mythology based, and the elements are quite similar as well. So you've actually got air, fire, water, and earth in Avatar, and obviously in this one you've got earth, lightning, ice, which is technically water in Avatar because they can freeze it. Earth, fire, ice, and lightning. lightning is actually a part of fire. So in Avatar, they have all these sort of sub-bending abilities. And I think water has the spirit and ice and snow, and also blood bending, which is a deadly one. But the other elements, I think earth has lava bending, but that also comes under firebender as well, because apparently it's very rare in the series, but your parents have to be a firebender and a earthbender for you to be a lava bender. But again, they are very rare, according to the series. Earth also has sandbenders as well, and other things. Fire has the lightning bending. What else does fire have? Lightning. That's pretty much it, actually. Lightning. No, there's one more. There was one more with fire. Oh, yeah, water has healing as well. I can't remember the other one for fire. Air doesn't really have anything either, actually. Well, each of them have like a different connection to different animals and spirits. That's why they all have certain abilities that the others don't. This skin tone is actually coming in incredibly nice. Never really made a skin tone like this before. It is working incredibly well. I think it's because I mixed it on a watery plate as well, which really helped to mix the colours. Katara is looking a bit more tanned than her series counterpart, but it should be alright once the colour sets. I think that's where the brown is coming through. There we go, that's her face done. Now we just need to do Sokka, or Sokka, depending on pronunciation, as well as Aang, who is the last airbender in the series before Legend of Korra, and Toph or Toph. I think we'll do Aang first, or Aang. Uncle Stan's nose is starting to look like an avocado. Yeah, not the best thing I've ever done. That nose. So Aang actually has glowing blue tattoos when he's in his avatar state. And although his eyes are kind of wide open, they're not white glowing and things, I will make his tattoos glowing. Just because I think it will look a bit more epic. Although he's not in the avatar state. Which is kind of like this form of the avatar, who, by the way, no matter their background, is able to conform with all of the elements in Avatar and all of their sub-elements as well. Yeah, but it's kind of like this form where they go into this all-powerful state and they can access their past lives, because it's not just one person. There's countless people, and there's like this spirit that passes on to each, and it chooses them based on, well, random actually. It's completely random. Sometimes it can be through relation, but most of the time it is random. Now, what I'm starting to see on the plate here is that some of the paint is starting to dry up, and that's because I am in quite a hot room, and it's quite hard to get acrylic back. I don't want too much of this skin tone to go either, because it is working really well. So I'll probably use the last of it on Soccer, because I think Toph's skin tone is slightly different anyway. So Soccer or Soka is actually the brother of Katara, and Katara is a waterbender. Soccer is actually the only... oh, I forgot Zuko. Never mind. Well, I mean, although he does eventually join the team, he isn't in the original bit. Kind of bums that I missed out Zuko. I think a mention's okay though, right? Just the mention should be fine, yeah. I did like Zuko a lot, actually. He is rather hot. Get it? Because fire and... yeah, okay. For anyone that doesn't know Zuko, he is the fiery part of the team, and he teaches Aang firebending. So water, earth, Toph is earth, or Toph is earth. Sokk is human. Aang already knew airbending because he was an air nomad before the Avatar, and Zuko teaches firebending to him because he's a firebender. Now, you can't actually see much of Toph or Toph's skin, so what I'm going to do is really water it down. Try to get as much of the skin tone off the plate as I can before I go ahead and add some other things to make that signature Shrek colour. Yes, Shrek is on here. We can't not have Shrek. Shrek is the OG. Or an OG. No, he's the OG. There we go. Right, that's Toph or Toph in the back. There. Yep. Should be fine. I'm just trying to look to see, I think they're the only ones that have that skin tone. Because they're all, actually, Gargamel down the bottom here. So I can actually use the very watered down version, because his skin is rather pale. So he's actually the wizard, or the evil wizard from the Smurfs, which is a little French cartoon was made a while ago. And the Smurfs are kind of a little blue people that live in these sort of mushroom houses. I think it's all based off of Cossingham fairies and sort of fairy folklore and all of that. They're all blue. They're all... no, they're not all. Yeah. And Gargamel is kind of like this evil wizard who wants to use the blood or the power of these little blue creatures to possibly extend his own life. And he goes to extremes to do this. He even creates a female Smurf. Smurf, eventually. Who's Smurfette, which is the one we've got down here. I've got Papa Smurf and Smurfette down here on the bottom bit. just because I think they're the most significant characters in Smurf culture. Let's try and off his head a bit more. Emphasizing. His eyes are there. Right, that's him done. And then we just got, I'm just trying to think, is there anyone else that has Finn? Finn for Adventure Time. Another great fantasy cartoon from my childhood, has pale skin. So we'll give him lovely pale skin. Okay. There we go. So it's Finn. Oh, Marceline. Actually, she's very pale. So we'll actually just quickly mix some more white onto this palette. So I do want to make Marceline's from Adventure Time skin quick. She's incredibly pale because she's a vampire, but a friendly one at that. So yeah. Made an almost sort of cream colour here for her face. There she is down the bottom. You can't see her currently. So that's Team Abigail, and then that's Marceline down the bottom. And then I've done Finn and Gargamel and stuff down here. Then if you can see that too well. There we go. Ow, it's out my back a lot. Right, that should be all of the actual skin coloured ones. Yes, I do believe it is. Yeah, it is. That's all good then. Now we can get on to... Oh, I missed one of the yellow ones. Jake the dog from Adventure Time is yellow. So, of course, we've got to go ahead and do him quick. Jake is Finn's best friend, and I did sing it last time, and I will sing it again, because it's an amazing theme tune. I think it's, come on, grab your friends. It's Jake the dog and Finn the human. The fun will never end, it's adventure time. Something like that. Something like that. Hello, Bobby. Doggy's come out again. You're molting, aren't you? He's a Labrador. It's been molting all over the place. Yeah, so Jake is a very sort of vibrant yellow. Some of the white's still mixed on, so I will go ahead and layer some of that. Onto there, and then his arms will extend out down that way. Leg come down here. And again, I'm trying to make the edges incredibly smooth, but also quite sharp as well. Smooth but sharp. It does appear to be working as well. Probably smooth out the rest of this so his legs go down properly. yeah, sadly Jake does eventually die as well. Yeah. Show went on for quite a while, and it was an amazing piece, and I do really miss it a lot. Obviously, again, I can go back and watch it like Gravity Falls, but just won't be the same because it's not the original bit. Right, is there anyone else that is yellow? I really am going to be careful now. Anyone else that's yellow? No. You're not. No. Oh, I forgot the skin colored one. Right, we'll need a lot of skin colour for this actually. So I'll just make one more skin colour for a guy here called Pops, who's part of the regular show universe, which is another thing that came out about the same time as about the same time as Adventure Time was the regular show. Basically all we now need to do is just twirl this and go in, sort of break it down with the whites. And the reason I see it needs so much is because Pops' head is massive. Like really, really, really big. It's also incredibly pale. Not as pale as Marceline, but still pale. I appear to have paint on my hands, which is never a good sign. It means it's now gone somewhere else. That's a better skin tone. That's a much better skin tone. There we go. If I move you over here. Yeah, that's exactly what I was afraid of. My phone's now saying that it's on low battery and it is on low power mode, but there might be a point at which it runs out. And the stream will probably quit out with that as well. Ow. Bring in those sharp edges again. It does indeed have a moustache, but I'm going to go over the top of that quick. Pops also does die as well, sadly, in a war in space. Turns out he is no ordinary man. And I probably will watch a lot of these shows once again, once I'm finished with this painting. Mainly just for the nostalgia. Hey, shush. There's no one there. Calm down. Calm down. There's no one there. Calm down. I'll be alright. Ralph. 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 Right, just give me 1 sec. I'm gonna go sort something out. I was gonna go wash my hands. Oh, hello. Oh, there. You still etching? Stretch as well. What are you barking at? Or what are you barking at? Don't you two start growling. Neighbours. You're in your bed. Tired, aren't you? Right, I'll be just here. Right. Characters. Just doing base. That's Pop's done. I'm just trying to think. So, are there any we're going to do green and blue characters next. I'm just trying to think, are there any more? There is actually, yes, up here. There's one more character that needs a skin tone of this colour. Well, part of a skin tone anyway. Just on that bit there. That one up there is actually one of my... This one up here is one of my personal creations. We've done Pops there, Megan there. We've done Jake there, Team Avatar, Gravity Falls, Gargamel and the Smurfs. And now we're going to get on to doing some green and blue skinned characters. So just give me 1 sec, I'm going to go ahead and wash this. Right, there we go. Oh, where are you coming to? Oh. I'm just going to take a quick break and just step outside for a bit, and I'll be back in like a couple of seconds. I will turn the stream off and turn it back on again, but yeah, I'll see you in a bit.